Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Apologies, you can just hear my dishwasher in the background, just beeping away. Yeah, we're currently in the messy kitchen of mine. We're actually going to be doing something a little bit different today. I've got these Dr. Martens. I've showed them a few times on the channel already, and I thought it's about time that I attempted to try and reshape them. I have actually had these listed for the last few months, and I've had no bites. Nobody wants to buy them, and you can see why, because they are very, very heavily creased, as you can see there. So I thought, let's make a little video out of it. It's probably only going to be 5 minutes long. A lot of you suggested using a pool noodle, and I've also got my shoe trees here. The next thing I was going to do was use a microfiber towel. I'll probably just use this little red one here. And I haven't got a steamer. We do have a hairdryer somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. I've messaged Kyla, she's currently not in, so I don't think she uses the hairdryer much. She just lets her hair naturally dry. So yeah, I need to somehow find a hairdryer. I've never done this before. I've looked at a few YouTube videos. No one has actually used this idea. Everyone seems to have the full professional steamer kit sort of thing. Oh, just had an offer, £30 for some Converses. I might accept that. But yeah, the plan is to kind of use this red microfiber, get hot water on that, kind of use that as a steamer, if that makes sense. So wrap that around the leather, maybe leave it for a few minutes, really warm up that leather, stick the pool noodle into the boot, and then yeah, get the hairdryer on it as well and dry off the leather, and hopefully it molds to a original shape again, or something near to the original shape. That's the plan. We've also got the shoe stretchers here, or shoe trees. This little like metal spring bit here should also help push out the back heel a little bit. The actual front of the boot isn't too bad at all. So yeah, that's the plan. I need to find the hairdryer, so I'll probably give Kyla a call because I've got no idea where it is. Yeah, the house is a mess, so apologies for this if you can see any of it. But yeah, let's get started. If this video randomly does go viral for some random reason, for those that don't know, I am actually a full-time eBay seller specialising in shoes. I picked these, I forgot to say it, but I actually picked these up at the car boot for £10. They were missing the original laces, so I've already found some laces for them, which I had just in storage. And unfortunately, yeah, apart from the creases, they're in really good condition. So if I can get them to the original shape, they will actually sell really well. Probably up the price maybe to 60, 70 quid on them. These boots were on for £36.99. Let's accept 30 for them. They have actually been returned once already. And I remember saying on YouTube, I'm going to up the price a bit, relist them because it's more in the season now. Hopefully someone's going to pay up a little bit more. And now they have. Success. We found the hairdryer. So, here we go. I think that is everything we need. We've got the hairdryer, we've got the shoe trees, pool noodle. We've got a little cloth just to avoid any messes, not that there will be any, and a microfiber towel which I will use to heat up the leather. So wish me luck, let's get started. So I think to start off with, I'm actually going to put the shoe trees in the boots. I'm not going to bother taking the laces out because I don't really see the point. Like I said, the boots are actually in really good condition. It's just unfortunate about the creases. I have no idea if this is going to work. This is the first time I've ever tried any kind of boot reshaping. I've polished boots up, I've restored boots a little bit, but I've never done like a full-on leather reshape restoration sort of thing. Anyway, we've got the red cloth there. That's feeling pretty hot. I thought we would make a fun little experiment. Personally, I'm only £10 invested into these, so it's not too much of a problem if it does actually all go wrong and I end up, I don't know, peeling the leather or something like that, melting the leather. Let's just let that sit there for a bit and just heat up. I'll leave that for a few minutes. I don't know if I've done anything. It feels nice and warm though. Let's have a look over here. Now, a bit of an issue because I've just noticed that spring's going to be in the way. So let's move the spring out of the way. Let's stick the pool noodle in it. What a strange job that we have as resellers. I might try and get that spring to do the rest of the work and like really push it out without damaging the leather too much, or making, I don't want to like reshape it in a completely random way. Alright, if I just leave that like that, it might be okay. Hopefully you saw that. Apologies for the lighting, guys. I don't usually film any videos in the house. It's quite gloomy today as well, so yeah, sorry about that. I'll just turn it off for a second. I don't want to go too hot on the hairdryer, but I do want it obviously hot enough to kind of mould the leather. So I've got it on, let's put it on like That's full whack. Let's put it on medium heat, and then that's sort of halfway on the fan. Right. Again, it's hard to see if there's any progress being made, but what I'm going to do now again is just heat up this microfiber with warm water, and I'm going to re-wet it again. Again, your guess is as good as mine if this is actually going to work or not, but I thought we'd make an interesting video anyway, and if it does work, then you guys know for the future on how to get heavy creases out of shoes and boots and stuff. Right. It's nice and hot again. Get that on there. I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. I am going to tie the laces and try and hold this pool noodle in place a bit more. As you can tell, this isn't the professional way to do this. But it's a shame to let a perfectly good pair of DMs sell for such little price just because they're creased. I'll tell you what else I'll do. I'll hair dry the cloth onto it as well. I don't know if that's going to help, but let's give it a go. Yeah, I don't think the pool noodle is actually doing much work, to be honest, but I reckon it's actually more the shoe tree inside there doing the job. But I have just been heating that up. Let's just place the camera here. Let's take the old shoe tree out. So it's definitely feeling more pliable, I think that's the word, like moldable. That might help as well if I wet the inside. Okay, what I'm going to do is wet the inside with warm water, wet the outside again, maybe wet the cloth, put the shoe trees back in, hair dry it again just to get it dry enough and quite warm and heated up, and then just leave it, maybe for a few hours. As it's winter time, drying clothes in the house does take a while. We actually have this over here. This is like a heated area which we use, but obviously it still takes ages in the winter to dry the clothes. So what we do is we whack the dehumidifier on. So what I'll do is I'll wet the inside of the shoe, I'll put the shaper in, and then I'll whack this on as well, and it will hopefully suck all the moisture out of the shoe just to help them dry out quicker. And I'll, maybe try and put the shoes around the dehumidifier a little bit. Bit of an experiment, but let's give it a go. This is just one of them random times where I just thought, let's pick up the camera and see if we can make an interesting video out of something. I'll just do a little comparison so far with the boots. There is a bit of a difference. I wouldn't say it's massive, but it's better than nothing, you know? That's like fully arched in there. This is the one I haven't touched yet. This one, still pretty bad, but not as bad. And if you were to put your foot in there, then you're going to straighten it out anyway. Okay, this is the most hodgepodge video on how to restore Dr. Martens, but we're getting there. So, what I've done, it's only about 5 minutes later, by the way, from when I last spoke to you. What I've done is I've scrapped the pool noodle, unfortunately, because I don't think that's actually big enough. I don't think it's got a big enough width on it to actually like expand the leather here. So what I've done instead is, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got the shoe tree with the spring on it, and instead of the spring touching the insole, I've actually brought it up higher, so that little wooden bit on the end of the spring is poking out about here, which is actually where the main crease on these boots is. I don't need to worry too much about up here because obviously it's not creased at all. So I've tied the laces, I've got the shoe tree in there pushing against the back heel. I'm now going to do what I said before and just wet them again, wet the insides as well, get the hairdryer on them, and then stick them by the dehumidifier, and hopefully that sucks all the moisture out and kind of remolds the shape of it. From watching other YouTube videos, that's exactly what shoe trees do. If any of you didn't know, shoe trees for like formal shoes, when you get this like creasing around here, around the toes, when you put them back in their box after you've been to like a wedding or something, the shoes actually draw moisture out of your feet, and that's why you get heavy creases on them, because they then shrink back to that size which your foot was in. So basically what you want to do is instead of just sticking them in their box, you want to get some like wooden shoe trees, stick them in there as soon as your feet are out of them, and it will draw the moisture into the wood rather than it just like go into the air and kind of like enclose on itself, causing these creases. So yeah, get a shoe tree in them, and then when your foot moisture, I know it sounds disgusting, but when your foot moisture dries out, it will hold that original shape still. So yeah, a bit of knowledge thrown your way. So yeah, one more time then, I'm just going to get the hot water on them once again and see if it works. Progress so far though, the leather is definitely a lot softer, it's a lot more pliable, it's a lot easier to work with, because obviously I've heated it up with the hairdryer, so good signs so far. Again, I'm not certain that putting hot water on the inside is a good idea, but these do have leather walls to them. It's no different to putting water on the outside really. Hopefully it just does the same thing but from the inside as well, causing a better effect, if that makes sense. So let's try it. Get it all wet, try not to make the boot too wet, just the back heel area. Just gonna wipe over it with the red cloth just because I don't want any like splash marks. I'm getting like little splashed areas which I'm just drawing onto the shoe. So that now is really soft leather right there. So I'll stick that there for now. I'll do the other shoe and then I'll come back and put the dehumidifier on. Hopefully draw out any of the moisture and then we'll come back in a few hours. I just wanted to show you guys one more final bit until I come back in a few hours time. We have got the boots here. They are all dried from the hairdryer, so they're nice and warm. The leather's nice and warm. Got the dehumidifier pushing cold air into these now, into the boots, just to dry off the clothes and the boots really. Just for any of you wondering, I haven't got the heated air on at the moment because that obviously, I've made that mistake many times in the past. I put leather shoes on top of these rails whilst it's been on, and the weight of the shoe literally melts like a little groove into the leather. So if you do get one of these, you can use them for drying shoes, but just be wary, be quite careful with it. You almost want the shoe kind of like hovering above somehow. I'm going to come back in a few hours. Hopefully these are going to be bone dry. I will take the shoe trees out and hopefully they hold their shape. And if they do, then mission success. Again, not the most professional way to get there, but hopefully we get there and we can sell these shoes on. Because they will definitely sell, and they've been on the shop for a good few months now, but because of the heavy creases, nobody wants them. It's now midday and I've really got to start listing some items on eBay, so I will catch you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm in the garage right now. I know this video is more dedicated to the Dr. Martens that I'm trying to fix, but I've just powered this thing up. I'm just listing it. I paid £10 at the car boot, but have a look at this. Just how retro and vintage is this thing? I just find it so cool. There's so much character to it, you know? It powers up, seems to work. It's also got these print cartridges in there. So I'm guessing it's some kind of printer, but you've also got good old floppy disks. I don't think I've held a floppy disk since my school days. Comment below if you remember these things. Problem is, you feel like there should be a mouse or something to it, but there isn't. Or touchscreen. Could you imagine? Yeah, I don't know. It's beeping at me now, but I think it works fine. These things sell for around 100 quid, so happy days. All right then, everyone, it is currently 20 to 2. I'm going to grab the boots now. They're still cooking away under the dehumidifier, or drying away, I should say. So let's turn that off now. They've probably been under here for a good 2 or 3 hours. They feel pretty dry to me now, so going to take them to the garage and get them under the lights and show you guys the results. I'd say they're about 90% dry, so not fully dry, but good enough to take some photos and get them relisted on eBay, and hopefully they'll sell for a higher price this time, or for the first time. All right, back in the garage. I'll just clear some space on the bench. There's the boots, but they currently do have the shoe trees inside them, so take the way they look right now with a pinch of salt. I'll take the shoe trees out and yeah, show you the results. Hopefully they hold their shape. If I just try and like push that down, that's pretty good. I mean, the fact it's actually popping back into shape again, you can see where the original crease was, but then it's springing back. So now, literally, you can just remold it with your hands a bit, and it holds its shape. I call that a win. I'm actually quite shocked that's actually worked. I'd say probably the best thing to go for is not the pool noodle, but instead go for some wooden shoe trees with the spring-loaded back. This thing here is what actually saved these. Of course, you've got creases just from general wear and tear, but it's the fact that this spring could actually put force inside the shoe and push on that outer bit there, which actually made this happen. And to be honest, that's amazing. I'm genuinely like really surprised that's actually worked. I mean, you can still see the outline of the creases, but what a difference. Someone's actually going to be so much happier owning this pair of boots now instead of a completely flat pair. Just for reference, I'm just going to have a look on my phone, and this is what they were looking like before. So this was this morning. Yeah, bit of a difference. I wouldn't say it's 100% perfect, but they're definitely in a more sellable condition than they were before. So I'm probably going to whack them up for like, I don't know, 65 quid. If you wanted to know, I didn't really show the rest of the shoe, but there's plenty of good tread on the soles. So I'd say I've just revived this pair of docks and hopefully given them a new lease of life. Anyway, I wasn't actually going to film today, but I thought I'd just show this little experiment. Glad it actually worked. I'm going to crack on with listing because, like I said, it's 1:45 now, so I really just need to crack on and put the camera down. So I hope you enjoyed today's little update. If you were new here, if this video somehow reached a new audience because it's a little bit different, welcome to the channel, and yeah, make sure you subscribe to it if you can. I really do appreciate it. Thanks guys, I will see you in the next one. See ya.